Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another post-match show following West Ham's defeat to Chelsea by a score of 2-1. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're going to know what most of the show is going to be about. Be strap in for a bit of a ranty one, I imagine. Feel free to get your comments in. We're all going to be on the same page on this one. As always, my name is Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Irish Tommy. Mate, I kind of have a feeling, but how you doing?
My mood right now is kind of like the weather outside my window. Thunder. I've seen plenty of bad decisions from VAR. Decisions I didn't like. Ones I thought were a bit dodgy. That is head and shoulders the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no excuse for that one.
No.
There is no reasoning your way out of it. There's no way of defending it. It's a horrific decision. I mean, that decision, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, Chris. You know, I believe we put men on the moon. The earth is round. You know, like, so I'm not one for going off like that and chucking conspiracy theories around. But that decision was so bad, it's very hard to put it down to incompetence.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, when virtually the only, well, if you take out Chelsea fans and probably the Chelsea manager, I mean, even
I can see most Chelsea fans saying that should have been a goal.
Yeah, some of them won't even admit it, but they know in their heart of hearts that was not a foul.
Welcome, Lucas. Welcome.
And like, when you see a decision like that, where virtually the only people in the world who think that was a foul are the VAR officials and the ref.
Mm-hmm. And then the most deluded Chelsea fans.
Yeah, something is very, very wrong, and it goes beyond incompetence.
Yeah,
it really does. You see, like, I've changed my name from Irish Tommy at the bottom. I'm at the point I think there needs to be a serious review of VAR.
We're not going to get it though. We're not
the officials who are using it.
Yeah.
They've got no business refereeing games at any level. Certainly not professional football. That was an absolutely fucking disgraceful decision.
Yeah,
absolutely disgraceful. Like, I've said to you before that when a ref is sent to a monitor, 99 times out of 100, they'll change.
I thought, honestly, that's the first thing I thought.
I honestly thought on this occasion, yeah, he'll go and look at it and say, "There's no foul there," and he'll let the ball stand.
I did too. I'm like, oh, this is the unicorn. This is the one time where he goes to the pitch side monitor and doesn't overturn it.
And it was actually done. Fair play to a referee earlier in the day who actually held up his decision on a penalty for Forest. And I thought, Jesus, we're going to get it, twice in the one weekend. Amazing. The ref actually stands by his initial decision. So when he reversed his decision and gave the foul, I was absolutely stunned. I wasn't even shouting at the telly. I was stunned into silence.
Oh, I was.
I couldn't believe it. I'm absolutely fuming at that.
Yeah.
And I know the Premier League are going to come out tomorrow and apologize for the decision and admit that it was wrong. And then nothing.
But it's not going to change anything. We don't get the point out of it. Chelsea doesn't lose 2 points.
No, all that will happen.
All of them are going to keep their jobs. All of them are going to be able to referee next weekend and fuck over another game.
Yeah, all that will happen is might as well get fined.
And Rice too. Rice came out in his interview as well, and he was moaning about the decision as well, rightfully so, obviously.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rice's one yet, but I mean that was completely disgraceful and completely indefensible. I mean, I have someone here watching it with me, and I'd said to her, only someone who knows absolutely nothing about football could make a decision like that.
Yeah,
and how can someone be refereeing a Premier League game who doesn't know anything about football?
No, I haven't played the game since I was in probably 4th or 5th grade. For all you non-Americans, that's probably since I was about 10, so 15 years or so. And I've never refereed one day in my life. And that is incidental contact. I mean, he's coming out on his own volition, going for the ball, How how is that? How can you call that? How is that a foul in any definition of the word of in the game?
It's not.
He's not trying to collect the ball. It's not like I was telling Tommy this beforehand. The American announcers, at least, I don't know if it was the for you guys as well, but earlier in the match when Broja had an attempt and Fabianski came out and collected it, Broja just barreled into him, coughing up the ball. That easily could have been a goal, and all of the announcers were saying is that would have been a great goal. Like, there's no consistency. There's nothing. So you running into basically body checking a goalkeeper would have been fine in that scenario, but an foot dragging across Mendy as he's going to try and parry it out gets called foul? No.
Yeah, it wasn't, it's not like it was even the sole of his foot.
No.
It was the top of his foot where his toes are. That just
it's not like he's slide tackling him to get the ball and missing the ball completely. It's not like he's running through and kicking Mendy in the head. No. I mean, Mendy comes out to parry the ball. Bowen tries to step over him, and he just doesn't get enough height on it, and the leg drags across. Mendy acts like he's been shot, and he gets the foul.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody, like the dogs in the street knew Mendy wasn't hurt.
Yeah, he popped back up 30 seconds later.
You know, I mean, just it's a joke. It's indefensible, and something has got to happen.
But it won't. Can't go on.
It can't go on. Whatever about. I mean, like we do our post-match shows all the time, Chris, and we talk about. We generally don't moan about refs. We talk about the game.
We'll talk about refs when it's deserved. This is the most deserved, blatant, bad refereeing match I think I've seen. I mean,
yeah. I mean, like
take away the Bowen. Take away that one. Reece James kicking Antonio and getting nothing, only getting a yellow card, not even being looked at by VAR.
Yeah, Reece James deliberately studded Antonio on the leg. And no, that's fine. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, just a yellow card for the fight, not for the actual incident.
Yeah, the yellow card that Reece James got was for what happened after.
It's incredible to me. Absolutely incredible.
It's a joke. It's pointless us even talking about anything that happened in the game.
Yeah, because it was that match was decided by that one moment. So I was telling Tommy this beforehand. I was unable to watch the first half because my shit wouldn't work. I was able to watch the second half. Watching that second half, we deserved at least a point, and the referee said no. That's all it was. That was blatant, pure corruption, match fixing, whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's no other definition. I'm not a conspiracy theorist with regards to sports generally, but there's no other no other way to call that.
No, and like I said, the previous 90 whatever minutes just don't matter anymore.
No,
because who cares about formations, tactics, who played well, who did well, who didn't manage the match? None of it matters now.
We'll get into that later. We have to talk about this.
We had earned ourselves a point. It doesn't matter whether you think we deserved a point or not. It doesn't matter how you think we played or how well Moyes did. All of that becomes irrelevant when this kind of fucking horseshit is going on in the game. Yeah. We were getting a point. End of story. Everything else is just aftermath. We were getting a point at Stamford Bridge. A point, it would be useful to us.
Yeah, very good, very valuable point.
To go to Chelsea, get a point. It's a decent result. You take that and move on. And we've been completely robbed of it by officials who have just made a horrific, indefensible decision.
Yeah.
And that's all anyone will talk about now.
So I want to know from your point of view, I want to know from the chat's point of view, what needs to be done to fix this? Because it's obvious that VAR is sticking around, but it's also obvious they're not going to assess anything. They're not going to change anything. What is the best solution? What do we need to do? Or is it just VAR and scrap it altogether?
You could scrap it. I don't think anyone would care anymore. I don't think anyone would care if Premier League came out and said, "Look, we're just going to scrap it." I think we'd all be like, "Fine, get rid of the fucking thing." We don't care.
It doesn't do it. It doesn't suit its purpose.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't when the referee makes the correct decision the first time.
Yeah, and then comes back and makes an error,
and then it gets incomprehensibly
That's
overturned
a bit
tackles.
excessive. That's a bit excessive, but your heart's in the right place.
Yeah, we're all angry, Scott. Believe me. But like, I think VAR can work and can be useful, but it can't with this kind of shit going
No.
on. This is human error. The machinery works fine. I mean, the replays work. You know, you can do your offside lines fine. But I think clearly referees cannot be trusted to use VAR.
No.
They just can't be trusted. We have to have former professional footballers who've played in the Premier League in the VAR room, because I guarantee you, you've got 2 or 3 former professionals, Premier League players, unbiased of course, in that VAR room. Not one of them thinks that's a foul. Not one.
I haven't seen a former player think it's a foul. On Twitter, everyone talks about how it was awful. No, you're good, Scott. We know you're joking. We're not going to
you're cool, Scott. We're all friends here.
We're not going
okay,
to
Scott.
report to any authorities or anything.
Yeah.
No,
I just it's got to be taken out of the hands of referees. Yeah, take it out of the hands of referees. Put former pros into the VAR room. Not one of them calls that as a foul. Not one, because they've actually played the game and they understand the game and they know every single one of them. They'll be telling the ref, "No, there's no foul there."
Yeah,
Bullshit.
I have not seen a single former player, former or current pundit or anything. I have never seen the entire slate of punditry agree on a single thing before.
Yeah, and fans. I mean, like literally the only people
there's like maybe 5% of Chelsea
defending that position are anyone you see defending that decision is basically connected to Chelsea in some way.
Yeah, they're connected to Chelsea and they really don't know the game whatsoever.
Oh, they do. They're just connected to Chelsea and they're biased. They
don't.
The
vast majority of Chelsea fans I've seen on Twitter even say that it shouldn't have been a foul and it should have been a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, the decision is really fucked up when even the majority of your opponent's fans are saying, "Yeah, that was really bad decision." I'm sorry, Chris. I know I don't talk about corruption much. I know Luke was saying it's just incompetence. I can accept incompetence up to a point, but not on decisions like that.
No.
That's beyond incompetence.
That costs us a point at Stamford Bridge. That is such a useful point. And I mean, later down the season, I mean, that would have been huge. We would have come away with 5 points from 6 matches now we're in.
Yeah. I mean, look, I disagreed with the goal that was disallowed for us by Forest at Nottingham Forest, but at least I could understand.
It's plausible.
At least I could understand the decision, even if I disagreed with it. I could see why the ref made the decision he did, even if I thought it was the wrong decision, or even if I thought he interpreted his decision wrong.
Yeah.
But at least you could see where he was coming from. You could see the thought process. But on this one, there's no excuse. There's just no excuse for that decision.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I don't know if you can find out, Chris, or if someone in the chat can find out who was in the VAR room in Stockley Park today.
I think I've seen some people talking about it, but I don't recognize the name off the top of my head. So yeah, if someone from the chat could confirm who it is, that would be great. I'm just wanting to check something here too, real quick. Because to your point with regards to Nottingham or against Forest, what was that score? We have now been based from VAR. We have now lost 2 points solely due to VAR with Forest, and then this match. That can't happen. That can't happen.
Oh, but it does, and it will, and it'll keep happening. Like you would think there would come a breaking point, even for the Premier League.
You would think, but you would have also.
I'll be honest, Chris. I'll be honest. If this is not it, then what is? If this isn't some kind of breaking point where something has to be done, what is?
Yeah.
When you get a decision this horrible, if this doesn't change something, nothing will. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and the problem is that I don't see it changing. I saw someone tweet out about how the Premier League on Monday is going to issue a statement that says that the goal should have counted. And it's going to be all happy smile rainbows and bullshit like that.
Yeah,
no.
It's literally just a, oops, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Then you just carry on. Yeah, sorry, we're sorry.
We don't get the point. We don't get the
sorry.
goal.
Where's our fucking point?
Yeah, we don't get the goal. We don't get the point. Chelsea doesn't lose too, but they issued a statement, so it's all good. No, it's not. Shit needs to change.
It's not good enough. An apology now is not good enough. They have to come out and say, okay, we're going to do something about this. Because they have to come out in the strongest terms and say that decision was completely unacceptable. Not some mealy-mouthed, oh, sorry about that. Something has to be done now. They've got to get them useless pricks out of the VAR room and put former pros into it who actually know what they're looking at and understand
parties that have no vested interest and they just look at the facts on the ground. The referees, it needs to be taken out of their hands completely. I wholeheartedly agree. But it needs to be either your idea with players, or it needs to be third party where they don't really have a team. They're just neutrals in general, and they just look at the facts on the ground. No one would have ever given that as a penalty or as a foul if that were the case. Pros or third party.
Literally, only a Premier League referees could give that as a foul. They're absolutely useless. They're absolutely useless.
This is why
I will never be able to wrap my head around this one. I will never understand it.
No, I think it's the Australian Football League where they have mics. They have the referees mic'd up so that way you can hear what they're talking about. I think that's a clear and easy way to alleviate any sort of that's match fixing. Because I would have loved to hear that conversation. I want to know what was said.
Yeah, well, apparently now, I think the broadcasters can hear it, but the viewers can't. They've made that rule this season, I'm pretty sure. That,
I haven't heard that.
The VAR conversations, I think the broadcasters are privy to it. But
if someone could confirm that'd be great. I honestly have no idea. I didn't know that was the thing. I don't know why that would help or in any way, because it's not like the broadcasters, at least here in the state or on the States broadcast that we have over here through Peacock. It's not like they're talking about it. They talk about it as if they're clueless, just like the rest of us.
Yeah, and apparently David Moyes went into the referee's room after the game, and it was tasty in there.
Oh, I'm surprised some questionable tackles weren't thrown in by us after that, or just punches thrown. I mean, I don't know how I'd contain myself. And then you had Havertz afterwards, trying to block Soufal, and Soufal touches him, and he does a front flip, and he only gets a yellow card for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing with me is refs as well. They're such fucking mugs. They buy everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like Mendy. Anyone looking on that replay, like the refs in Stockley Park looking at that replay, they can see he's not injured. It's obvious.
He's acting like he got shot by a 12 gauge.
They'll make the excuse that it affected the goal being scored because Mendy was injured by Bowen, so he couldn't get up and attempt to save. He wasn't injured, you fucking clown. How could you possibly think he was injured? He could have easily jumped up and carried on. It wouldn't have made any difference anyway because he wasn't getting near it.
No.
Did I really think Mendy was going to be able to jump up, race to the far post, dive right up into the corner and tip it over? Give me a fucking break. Made no difference to the goal, Mendy not getting up.
Here you go. Declan Rice tweeted 13 minutes ago. That's up there with one of the worst VAR decisions made since it's come into the game. Shambles.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see can't believe the referee even had to be asked to take a look at the monitor. Cannot see how they've come to that decision.
That was Rice?
Yeah, Rice also tweeted that 3 minutes ago. We're going to have some press conferences over the next couple days in the build up to the Conference League group play, and then our match next week, and it's going to be nothing but VAR. Who is it that Chelsea fans don't want again as a referee? It's the bald referee. They were like
Anthony
petitioning.
Taylor.
Yes, thank you. And I'm tired of referees in general with West Ham. I mean, we've been screwed over by them countless times. 2 points already this season. Who knows how many points since VAR's inception?
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, fucking earlier in the day, the Merseyside derby, Van Dijk is
the Van Dijk on Onana.
On Onana. No, VAR, it's fine. Nothing to see
let me
here.
just break his ankle real quick.
Yeah, and then, obviously, Reece James then on, deliberately studding Antonio on the leg. Oh, no, nothing to see here. No need for VAR to get involved. And then Bowen clips fucking Mendy's arm with his toe, and all of a sudden now VAR need to jump in.
Yeah,
go fuck yourself.
If there's any justice in this, Reece James will get some sort of suspension on, or an after the fact suspension. But we're not going to see that either because it's a Big Six club.
Yeah, either.
And he's about to sign a new contract to become the highest paid Chelsea defender ever. So they can't suspend him now because storylines and all that bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean that won't happen. But VAR right now immediately needs an overhaul or just scrap the fucking thing completely. I'll go back. I'm so sick with that decision today with VAR in general that I'll happily go back to human error. Thanks. I'll just go back to refereeing human error.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I don't give a fuck anymore. Keep it for offsides because it gets the offsides right. But other than that, fucking just forget about it. Let the ref make his decisions and so be it.
Yeah.
At least with human error, you can accept it as human error. The referee is human.
This is even more true. If anything, it's a penalty for us for tripping Bowen up.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way too. But I don't think it would be because the keeper did parry the ball. He did get the ball first, so I don't think that would ever happen. But yeah, I mean, just a complete disgrace.
It is the most disgraceful decision I think I have seen as a West Ham fan. I'm struggling to think of another one.
No, that is hands down the worst VAR decision since its inception.
And I think it's heads and shoulders above the rest. I mean, I really do believe it.
It's not even close.
It cost us a point. Yes, it's only a point, but at the same time, just the meaning of it just in the circumstances surrounding it. We're half an hour in. This is how you can tell how pissed off we are. We're 25 minutes in nearly, and we still haven't even talked about the rest of the match. It's only been about VAR, and that's the only thing we can talk about because it drowns out the rest of the match.
Yeah, I almost just don't care about everything else.
Yeah.
What happened in the 90 minutes? I almost don't give a shit at this point because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do in a game. We can talk about it briefly because I will have to go in a few minutes, but I thought first half, we may as well get into it. I think we could rattle on about VAR all night, frankly. We're that angry.
Big facts.
Yeah. I thought first half, actually, Chris, we were very poor. We defended very well, but that was because we got everybody behind the ball. Just got everybody behind the ball and defended manfully. Chelsea are not that great, frankly.
No.
So they weren't able to break us down. We were able to keep them out relatively comfortably. But I was very disappointed at our lack of ambition going forward. We offered absolutely nothing. We didn't get a shot off really in the first half. Nothing was happening for us going forward. I was very disappointed with that. I thought it was far too cagey and negative from us. Yeah. So I was really. That's one of the things that annoys me about Moyes. He's far too cagey when we play away to the Sky Sports 6. Like we see, Southampton and Leeds kind of went at them and had a go at them, and both of them beat them.
Yeah.
And Chelsea were not good in either game. They were wide open. Both teams created numerous opportunities. We created nothing in the first half because Moyes is just cautious by nature and shows them far too much respect. It's why his record is so horrendous.
I believe that the announcers were saying that he's never won away to Chelsea.
No, and his record away against the Sky Sport 6 is terrible. My understanding is now that is in the last. No, I looked at the figures the last day. I think it was 18 games, so we can call it 19 now. So in the last 19 games away from home, ours, West Ham's,
Yeah,
under Moyes, we have won once, we've drawn twice, and we've lost 16.
yeah.
And
There's a correlation there. There's a
there's a
correlation.
correlation there. It's because Moyes is far too cagey, shows them far too much respect.
Yeah,
Sits back, gets everyone behind the ball. Other teams don't do it. Leeds and Southampton went at Chelsea, showed them no respect whatsoever. They got after them and they both beat them. And that's one of the things that drives me mad about Moyes. You know,
yeah.
he's got to show a little bit more kind of optimism in these games and actually get after them a little bit more. You know,
Yeah.
he's
No, I
far
completely
too
agree with you
he's
there.
far too negative. And you saw what happened in the second half when he actually did something really positive. He brought on Benrahma and Cornet, and
Yeah,
Cornet had that one goal chalked off and hit the post where he really should have scored with
yeah.
another. Benrahma caused them
Took care of
problems
the woodwork.
immediately. If he'd have had, even at half time, now in my team I put out, you know, I had Benrahma starting.
Yeah.
I would, you know, I'd like to see Cornet given a chance now. He looks fucking dangerous. You know, he looks really
Oh, yeah.
dangerous. So, you know, can you imagine if Moyes has started across that front three? If it started with, say, Cornet on the right, Paqueta in the number 10, Benrahma on the left, you know, would have been much more
That's a
positive.
dangerous attacking
We
line.
might have won that game. So
Yeah.
Moyes has got to stop with this, you know.
I will say, at least in the second half, Bone looked much better.
He improved. He did improve, but still, you know, that first half, but I suppose everybody was kind of poor enough, except defensively in the first half. But second half, even Moyes brought on Ogbonna. You know, when after we scored, Moyes, you know,
It wasn't even
we
that.
forced, yeah, we forced our first and second corners of the entire game. We managed to get a little something going for the first time, and we finally like got a goal from the corner. We got a scrappy goal from the corner. Okay, you know, we're a little bit lucky because a bit scrappy or whatever. But okay, we're 1-0 up, fucking happy days. And then he goes defensive. All right, we're going to sit back on this. What we've been doing all game. It was only when we were in trouble that he brought on the likes of Benrahma and Cornet, and it completely turned us around. We were actually able to create counterattacks and hit them in the counter. And then we really troubled Chelsea and started creating chances and looked like we could score for the first time. And so if he'd have been positive from the start, instead of being his usual cagey, cautious, fearful self, we might have won the game. Chelsea are not great. You know, just fucking have a go at them. I'd rather lose having a goal than lose like that today.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in terms of the order of subs, we brought on Benrahma for Antonio before we brought Ogbonna on, which that made no sense to me. I'm like, if you wanted to go defensive, that should have been your first and kept Antonio, because Antonio can at least hold the ball up and when we punt it down. But Benrahma isn't as physical, so they were going to be able to run through us. So that's what confused me with regards to the substitutions, because if you wanted to kind of park the bus almost, then you bring on Ogbonna first. You don't take Antonio off first.
Yeah, he decided for some reason to play with no striker for a while.
Yeah, and
he brought on essentially. Look, he brought on another midfielder. I know Benny's an attacking midfielder, but he's still a midfielder, and he knows Benny will track back and do all the defensive work as well because he works hard.
And our announcers here in the States were talking about how. So I assumed when we brought up Benrahma on, I figured Bone was going to slot in as like make a striker, but no, it was Benrahma. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it was just bizarre decisions from Moyes, and then brings on Ogbonna, you know, to sit on it, and it's like, what are you doing, man? Come on, have some bollocks for once, will you please?
Yeah,
he really annoys me sometimes, Moyes. The absolute deference he shows to the badge.
Yeah.
Of what he's playing against the badge.
Yeah,
not against the team that he's actually playing against. And Chelsea are in shit form, and we've lost that game today. Okay, we've been robbed of a point in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
But But like fucking hell, Moyes. Like the only time he actually did something positive was when we were losing, and then
Yeah,
when we essentially equalised, had it robbed from us, but we equalised and could have scored more goals than we did in that period. We were
this
really,
is
really
yeah.
troubling.
This
Oh,
this
that's
added
not.
into it first one. So
Well, Benny works hard. I think it's a bit
he works
unfair.
hard, but he doesn't track back as well, and I don't think he's as good defensively as even like Antonio. So that's what confused me even more with him coming on before the substitution for
Yeah, I
Agbana.
don't quite understand that substitution myself, but
No,
but
but
I just
so the
wish
two,
Moyes would have been more positive.
yeah,
From the start. He's so cagey. It just drives me crazy. Chelsea were there for the taking. Everybody
yeah,
knew it. Even as badly as Moyes got it wrong, essentially we earned a point. Still that's how bad Chelsea are. Do you know what I mean? Like so, Moyes should have gone after them a bit more. He should have had. I think he should have had probably Cornet um, and Benram on from the start, frankly, and we could have troubled them a lot more than we did first half
yeah.
as well.
Yeah, and then the two goals that we conceded, the first one, if I remember correctly, we just switched off our defense like as well as it had been the entire game. We just like switched it off for a few seconds and cost us. And then the second one was where Fabianski got done, wasn't it?
At the near post.
Yeah, I mean that was just shocking. It was bad defending, but it was also
Yeah,
shocking goalkeeping from Fabianski. Um,
yeah, I agree.
I want to see Areola more. I don't know why we like. I love Fabianski, but I think we need to start giving Areola a go in the Premier League.
Yeah, the main reason being I think just his distribution is better. I'm not saying
Yeah,
he's brilliant at distribution, Areola, but it's definitely better than
it's at least a step up
Fabianski.
from Lucas.
Yeah, there was one point in the first half where the ball was played back to Fabianski. He had an out ball to Sofal out on the right wing, and he still just booted it down the middle of the field, and we lost possession. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, Fabianski, like, come on. Surely you can make that pass. So I want to see Areola in there. I want to see Moyes be more positive, get more attacking players on, and not be so cagey. We'll see what he does against Newcastle. Remains to be seen what he'll do against Newcastle, but I'd hope he'd be a bit more positive. But yeah, today actually, I'm even struggling to give a shit, to be honest, at this point with that VAR
Yeah,
decision.
I
I'm
mean
honest.
we needed to talk about it regardless. It's not it wouldn't be a post match show without talking about the actual match, but everything just gets drowned out when you have a decision like that.
Yeah, we played much better second half, particularly when Moyes made the more attacking substitutions. We were finally
Yeah,
able to get at Chelsea a bit, and we opened the game
we
up a
get to
bit.
see we got to see Paqueta's full debut.
Yeah,
I thought he was
yeah,
great.
yeah. But look,
I think he,
ultimately, at the end of the day, regardless of formations or tactics or personnel or substitutions, we earned ourselves a point by hook or by crook,
oh yeah, at least a point,
and
if not
and
more.
the, and it was just completely fucking robbed from us. And that's
Yeah,
all I can think about, to be honest, because nothing. The rest of it doesn't matter. It's just background noise.
yeah,
This is all about West Ham being completely and utterly fucking robbed.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
It's hard for me to give a shit about anything else that happened in the game at that point. Because
yeah,
like,
it's
what's the point?
this was supposed to be so. For any non-Americans in here, it is the first week of college football here in the States. As you can see, I am adorning my Ohio State
Yeah,
jersey. We have a prime time game tonight, 7:30 Eastern time against the top 5 team. It's a top 5 matchup to open our season at home. And I was like, all right, I don't like, even if it's as long as we put in a good West Ham put in a good shift, I'm gonna have a good day because college football's back. Now
yeah.
I
Well,
just feel
look,
like shit, and it's just like, oh,
yeah. Well, look. Hopefully, the Buckeyes will cheer you up a bit, and
oh yeah, hopefully we can cream the Irish. No
yeah,
offense. We're
yeah,
facing Notre Dame.
means
They're the
nothing to
fighting
me.
Irish.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, we're
But
playing the
anyway,
Fighting
look.
Irish tonight. Hopefully, we can get
Yeah,
something.
I've got to go have my dinner. So
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a disgraceful match, and I respectfully disagree. We deserved something in that.
Yeah, I think probably after the Newcastle game next week, we'll maybe take some time to talk about Moyes and his position at the club, because there are things to be said, I think.
Yeah, there are. Hopefully we can come back out. Actually, while we're on the topic, let me pull up. So what does it this week look like for us? We have
Thursday we've got Steaua Bucharest at home in the conference,
and
and then
Newcastle on Sunday.
Newcastle on Sunday.
Oh, next Sunday. Okay, next Sunday is the first week of the NFL season for me, so I'm hoping it doesn't destroy my weekend or my day then too.
Yeah. Yeah, look, we've got we're in Seattle on Monday night, so I'll be waiting.
Oh yeah,
I'll be waiting a while. Yeah, so if we lose it against Newcastle, I'll be waiting a little while for the Broncos to maybe cheer me up, but we'll see. They're probably
we're in Cincinnati week 1 for me, so it's just like
yeah, that's a big one.
Hopefully Trubisky can get it done. For all you non-Americans, I know that you've probably tuned out on this one. But,
tuned out now. What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah. All right. Listen, everyone. Thank you for joining us. They don't play until 7:30 and doing this soon. I just threw it on. I couldn't.
Yeah. Gary doesn't know about tailgates.
Yeah. I'm meeting up with some buddies here in a little bit and getting started on the festivities. So, thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. As always, I know this was a bit of more of a ranty one, less about the match and more about the decision in general. This is kind of one though that I'm sure everyone expected. And yeah, I mean, we got 2 matches coming up this week. I will be able to watch the one on Thursday.
Excellent.
So we should be back here for a show, all things considered. I do I got to double check because as funny as it does sound, I have jury duty this week. So I got to make sure that I'm able to watch it. So I'll keep you up to date.
Just, if you're running short on time, 5-minute decision, flip a coin, guilty, not guilty. 5 minutes. Not guilty.
He's not gonna go watch West Ham. Yeah. So if we're able to, we'll be back here on Thursday. I'm sure if it's not me, it'll be someone else in this seat.
Oh man, did fucking Haaland just score again?
Has he scored a second today?
Somebody just did. I'm not sure. Let me check. I didn't see it, but
if it's Haaland, that's 11.
It might have been De Bruyne. Hang on a second. I'm not sure. They're both celebrating with each other. The camera's on both of them. Either De Bruyne or Haaland. No, De Bruyne is putting the ball in. Haaland just scored number 10 of the season already.
Jesus. That's incredible, man.
He's a fucking machine.
Yes, Gary. Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, Chris.
We'll be back here on Thursday. Someone will be in this chair, whether it's me or someone else, and I'm sure Tommy will be here. We'll bring you a post-match show for the group stage match this week, and then Sunday we'll be right back here for the Newcastle match. Hopefully things go a little bit different. Hopefully things go our way. Hopefully no VAR controversies. Tommy, I want to thank you as always for joining me. Thank you for everyone joining us in the chat. Until Thursday, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. And fuck there.